back to vlog number 2 on chasing waterfalls, the thing I do best, I think. So we are at the 3rd waterfall in the series that I've been photographing. This photograph is up from Millgill in Askrigg. I'm not sure the name of it, but I'll find out and I'll put the name of the waterfall up on screen for you in a moment. I photographed this waterfall quite a few years ago now, but the problem was there wasn't much water in the waterfall. So I decided that really there wasn't much use for the photograph. So I've come back today just to get a good photograph. And the reason I'm hoping to get a good photograph is it's been raining quite a lot on the Dales. As you know, it's been a pretty crap summer, isn't it? Yeah, there's been a lot of rain on the Dales. Fingers crossed, I'm hoping that this shot is going to work. I will include myself again in this shot just to give you a sense of scale of how big this waterfall is. And like I say, I'm hoping for a good flow of water. The water is brown. I think that comes from the soil and the different minerals and iron and stuff in the soil. So the water is a bit brown, but I think we can work with it. I've got to make my way up this valley that's straight ahead. It is really slippery and there is quite a few rocks, so it's quite difficult to get to, but I'm sure the rewards are going to be worth it once I get there. So stick with me. Let's see if I can get some more lovely shots of waterfalls. Catch you in a bit. Hey! Wow, so I've made it to this waterfall and thank goodness, as you can see, we've got some white-ish water. I am so pleased. That little scramble through that gully was well worth it. The only issue I've got at the moment, there's always something, there's a lot of spray around, obviously because the volume of water coming over the top. It's very, there's loads of moisture in there and I can see it in the air and it's sticking even to the front of this camera. So I've just got to be really careful where I position my camera because I'm going to have it on a remote release and take a picture of me with it within the shot. And yeah, it'll be ruined if there's mist all over the front of the camera. So I've got to take my time, position the camera correctly, and hopefully I'll get a banger of a shot. Let's do it. So I'm perched precariously, whatever the word is, precariously on the side of this hill. It's very slippy and there's lots of loose leaves. But what I'm trying to do is I want to try to get myself in the picture. So what I've done is, I don't know if you can see, I'll put the camera down. So I've more or less dug in the tripod legs just to make sure that the tripod really is secure. So when I move away from it and put the interval timer on, that the camera's not going to fall off there and down the hill and into the river. So that's what I'm doing with that. I've kept the lens cap on because I don't want the mist getting all over the front of the lens. I'll leave that on right until the last minute before I go down the hill and get in position for the shot. Everything in terms of the camera setup is on manual. So manual focus, I've set the exposure, and that's it. I want to set the timer running and let's see what we'll get. Here is the resultant shot that I got from the side of the bank. Although it's an okay shot, I just don't think the elements really come together to make it a great shot. And what I did notice, the light was quickly changing, and despite taking a number of different shots of this from this particular spot,
For me, it just wasn't working. I'd spent a lot of time trying to get everything correct, exposure and everything else, but it doesn't seem to work this shot. So I moved my camera location to a much lower angle, and I think that really worked superb in comparison, and the light was fantastic. I won't spoil it now. I'll leave it till the end of the vlog to show you the shot that I got, and you can let me know if you prefer this one or the final shot from a lower angle. So stay tuned until the end to see that image.
I'm just on my way down to a slightly smaller waterfall down from the one I've just been to. The only issue with this one is it's full of brown water. So I'll have a try. Sometimes with brown water it can work, but other times it just looks terrible. So I'm going to have a little scramble down to see if I can get a shot of it. And let's see if it's worth the scramble. Well, that's me down from the waterfalls now. Wow. Honestly, what grabs me is the fact I could have just stayed in the house with the weather, but I decided to come out, and I'm so glad I did. It's been raining, it's been windy, but just to get out to that big waterfall, I'm absolutely hoping that I got that shot that I was after. I was after something different, and I really do think and hope that I did do that. It's starting to get dark really quickly now, so I'm sorry if this footage is grainy and the wind is catching the mic. My dead cat, or whatever, is it called a dead cat? Whatever it's called on the end of the mic is soaking wet. My jacket is soaking wet, but well worth it. Honestly, I just hope it's going to come out that picture. So I'm at my next location, a little bit of a surprise for you actually. I've hopped across the channel and I'm actually in Austria, and I'm taking a shot of this waterfall. Just for a change from North Yorkshire and Cumbria. It's quite a long exposure, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to put myself in the shot again as normal, and I've got about 1/100th of a second. I'm shooting at an aperture of f8 because I don't really need that much depth of field. Yeah, I'll put the shot up for you at the end. Nice to see you. Catch you back in the UK in a bit. Bye bye. I'm back in the UK now, and although Austria and everything was fantastic, I wasn't there to take photographs really. I did get a couple of shots. What I'll do is at the end of the video, I'll put some favourite shots from my recent trip out to Europe up for you to see. But like I say, it wasn't the purpose of going out there wasn't to take photographs really. I just got some photographs whilst I was there, so I'll put those up at the end, so hang on for that. Okay, back to where I am now. I'm just over the Northumberland border. I've never been to this waterfall before. It's just, it's not far from Concert. It's quite a small waterfall, but what I do like about it, there is a little quaint bridge, if you like, down there. So I might include that in the shot, and I hope to include that in the shot because it'll make a slightly different image of a waterfall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set my camera kit up and crack on. Let's go. Well, I've found quite a nice composition. It's pretty basic in terms of the waterfall straight in front of me, but what I do like is there's a little bit of light coming from the top left hand corner. Sometimes including a bit of light really helps, so that's what I'm going to do on this shot. I'll just turn the camera around so you can see what kind of view I'm getting really. In terms of camera settings, I'm on ISO 100. I tend to stick to 100, an aperture of f22, and I'm getting around about 8 seconds on that. I'm on the timer on the camera, so I don't move the camera, and yeah, I've gone quite wide as well. There's a little tree coming out of the rocks over there as well, which I quite like. So yeah, if the shot's any good, I'll put it up for you now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a shot of some smaller cascades. There is some smaller ones. Maybe including them will just give a little bit more depth and a little bit more oomph to the picture, because at the moment it's all right, the picture, but it's not quite there. And I think incorporating a little bit more foreground interest will really help this location and for this shot. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm back down from the waterfall now. I had to change my top. I was absolutely soaked. I was sweating my cobs off. So in terms of the shots I got, I think the shots are okay. And I think what helped that was I had to move quite a lot of branches and twigs and a couple of rocks that didn't quite fit the composition. So I had to do a little bit of waterfall gardening in that respect. I do hope that you've enjoyed the vlog. What I've tried to do is go to some different waterfalls that aren't regularly visited. There's tons of vlogs out there with just the same regurgitated waterfall shot over and over again, and I thought I'd just get something different in this vlog. So I do hope that you've enjoyed it. Thanks as always for tuning in. It's much appreciated. What I'm going to do in a second, I want to put up the two shots from Whitfield Gill, and you can choose whether you prefer number 1 or number 2. Please do let me know in the comments which you prefer. Personally, I prefer number 2, but that's just my preference. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It really helps the channel. It'll be really helpful. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next, but I think over the next couple of weeks I'm back to work, so I'll be slowing down a little bit in terms of vlog making. But as always, please take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.